5 buy low candidates at the forward position. Guys you should buy low and trade for here. The first guy's Jimmy Butler of the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler last season, he was amazing, leading the Heat to the NBA Finals, but obviously falling short to LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. And so far this season, Butler, he's been banged up with the ankle injury and also on the COVID list most of the season, but 15.8 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, 5.3 assists for Butler, 2 steals a game. He wasn't giving you a 3 per game, 93% from the line and 44% from the field. So Jimmy Butler, his scoring was down. His rebounds and assists on average were down a little, but his field goal percentage is just about where it was last season. So Butler, he's banged up like I said. Hopefully he comes back sooner, and he's a definite buy low candidate. He's been struggling this season, and he's definitely not 100% after that gruesome road to the NBA Finals and then a quick turnaround to start the regular season. And he's ranked 152 on the season, so I will go out there and try to buy Butler low if I can. At this point, the second forward I would try to get low is John Collins of the Atlanta Hawks. Collins, he started off the first 3 or 4 weeks on fire and putting up huge numbers, but now he's dropped off a little, but still on the season he's ranked number 49. On the season his average is 15.6 points a game, 7 rebounds, 1.6 assists, a block, 1.1 threes, 80% from the foul line, and 54 from the field. So last season, Collins, he was amazing. And so far, his points have dropped off 6 points. 3 rebounds as well he's dropped off. And his field goal was 58% last year. This year, 54. And the last couple weeks, Collins is struggling. In the last week now, 12 points, 5 boards, 2 assists he's averaging. 83% from the foul line, 51 from the field. So his numbers, they're still decent for John Collins, but his points are down, like I said. The Hawks here, I don't know what the problem is. Him and Trae Young, their numbers have gone down. Clint Capella, he's getting more boards, so that's why his boards are probably down for Collins. And DeAndre Hunter, he's put on a bigger scoring role he's taking on here with this Hawk team, so that could explain why Young and Collins' stats are down. And plus some teammates, they don't like Trae Young running the offense, supposedly. But John Collins, I think you could get him on a decent deal, especially with his struggles and numbers dropping the last 2 weeks. So if you could get him on the right deal, he's definitely a buy low candidate. The next guy, Jayson Tatum of the Boston Celtics, he's going to be tough to get no matter what is Tatum. But this is the lowest his value is going to be, in my opinion, this season. He's been on the COVID list for about 2 weeks now, is Tatum, and he's 50-50 for Friday's ball game. And on the season, Tatum, he was having an amazing year, as usual, 26.9 points a game, 7.1 rebounds, 3.8 assists, a steal, 3.5 threes, which is great for Tatum, gone up from last season, 88% from the foul line, and 47% from the field. So Tatum, it's been a long road and recovery, obviously, that he's been out now with the illness for 2 weeks about. But right now, his value's at the lowest, because once he comes back and has 2 or 3 huge ball games, that's going to be it. And his value will be back to that first round value and a great fantasy player. So Jayson Tatum, it's going to be hard to try to pry him away. But I'm just saying right now, his value's at the lowest it will be this season, but it's still high in all retrospect. The next forward I would try to get to Michael Porter Jr. of the Denver Nuggets. Seems like Porter Jr., he's been out all of January with his COVID issues and on the COVID list. He hasn't played a ball game, Porter Jr., since, December 29th was his last game, so this whole new year he hasn't played. We don't know when he's coming back. He could return Friday, but I'm not going to hold my breath for it. I own Porter in a couple leagues, and it's very frustrating. But honestly, at least if you got an injured spot, you fill in for him. And on the season, he's ranked 195. On his averages, they were doing good, man. 19.5 points a game, 6.8 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 1.5 blocks, 2.8 threes, 87% from the line, and a nice 56% from the field. So Michael Porter, this is probably the last chance owners have to go out there and buy him low if he's going to come back Friday and hopefully stay healthy. This kid's a stud. He was going to be the first pick in the NBA draft years ago if he didn't have the back issues. But anyway, Michael Porter, he's the real deal. He's the missing piece, I believe, for this Nugget team that's playing about 500 right now. But once he comes back, he's going to be a good ball player, and he's going to help fantasy teams. So right now, this is the last chance to get him on a little bit of a discount if the Porter owner has been frustrated now for weeks with him out and still don't believe or know when he's going to come back. So I will go out there and get him in the fifth and final forward. You should target on the real buy low cheap list is Blake Griffin. Griffin, he's been horrible this season, no doubt about it, and he's frustrating to own. I own him in a few fantasy leagues myself, and on the season, he's ranked 199. His stats are nothing to look at, really. 12.9 points a game, 5.9 rebounds, 4.3 assists, so that's a pretty good number there for a powered forward center. 67% from the foul line, horrible. 38% from the field, way bad. And 2.2 threes a game he's hitting. So Blake Griffin, all of a sudden now, this guy, he came into the league with a broken jump shot, and now he's hitting threes. Last season, 1.5 a game he averaged. This year, 2.2. And he's still getting some rebounds and assists, which is good to see. But his field goal percentage is bad. He's not scoring the points like you want to see from him. But I think Blake Griffin, he could turn it around, and I think you could get him on the real cheap and low right now, and it wouldn't cost much at all. So that's a few forwards I would try to buy low and trade for here in week 5 of the fantasy basketball season.